Welcome back to Minute on the Mountain. We're up Blacksmith Fork Canyon. We're going to take a little hike up Rock Creek. I brought the snowshoes up, but looking at it, I think it's one of those situations where they'd be more of an inconvenience than a benefit. Snow's really not that deep yet, but the Rock Creek trail is just right up there with other cars parked, so it looks like somebody's already on the trail, but that's okay. I brought my little backpacker stove and backpacker meal, so the plan is to hike for a couple hours, have a hot lunch, and then hike back. It's cold, it's 14 degrees, but the wind finally died down, so once we get moving it won't be too bad. We've had some elk come through here. Quite a few deer tracks obviously, but a handful of elk tracks too. That's elk right there. I'm sure the elk are in on the ranch. Hardware Ranch is just about a mile and a half up the road. Maybe we'll be able to get a few elk on video for you guys today. Got 4 mule deer right on the top of the ridge up there watching me. All does. And I will stay down here in the bottom of this canyon on this hike. I'm not going to side hill any because I don't want to push the deer. It's early in the season. It's not as bad when you push them this early as it is, like in February and March when their fat reserves are down, but I still try not to push them when I'm out here hiking in the winter. You're going to push them a little bit. That's just the nature of it. You know, they're probably 300 yards away from me and they're kind of trotting off, but I just don't want to make them run any more than I have to, obviously. So we'll stay down here in the bottom right along Rock Creek, along these little beaver dams. That's our first wildlife of the trip. Well, so far I've had the trail to myself, haven't run into anybody else. We're a little over a mile in, about halfway to where I want to go to grab some lunch. So we'll go, I think on the map it's like 2¼ miles in, maybe 2½. So it'll be about 4½ round trip. It's been pretty easy walking. Obviously there's snow everywhere, but it's really not that deep yet. Big rock formation up above us. I've seen one golden eagle flying above. No bald eagles yet. Often I will see a bald eagle or two when I come up here in the winter, but not yet today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, at least 12, I see, nope, 13, 14. Alright guys, this is where we're going to have lunch. I brought a tarp up so I didn't have to sit in the snow. Got a pretty decent cooking rock right there. And I'm at a place in the creek where there's moving water. So I'm going to go fill up my pot, get that water boiling, and then we will show you what we have for lunch. See if we can get down here without busting our rear end. All right. Let's get the stove going. We'll show you that in just a second. Got our little Coleman stove going. Yeah, for lunch today we have Mountain House and it's Italian style pepper steak. I've never had this one before, so we'll give you the review when we have lunch. That was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. I didn't have my camera with me. I was just stirring not opening up the package for my lunch. That flock of turkeys that I'd filmed earlier was, I don't know, 150 yards up on the ridge. And the whole flock just launched and flew over my head. Literally about 10 yards above me was all. It sounded like an airplane going over with all those wings going over. That was so cool. And now they're all around me. There's one walking right there. They're making a ton of racket. So I was wondering what bumped them. I don't know if there's a coyote up there maybe, or a fox or something, but something spooked them. And they all came flying down here. But yeah, I could have hit them with a rock. I mean, they were barely over my head and you could hear their wings cutting through the air. That was so cool. And they're all making a racket. Well, about half those turkeys just flew over my head again, back the other way. I'll go over here and see how close I can get with the GoPro. Imagine they'll run off before I get to where you can really see them in this, but we'll see. Just added the boiling water to my lunch. So now we're gonna let it sit for, I think you're supposed to let it sit for 10 minutes, 7 minutes, something like that. I'm getting closer than I thought. You see those turkeys in the GoPro right there? Probably only 15 yards away now. Now probably just 10. Oh, about busted my butt. Wow, they let me get right up on them. That's crazy. I don't know that it'd get much better than this, guys. Got a nice little backrest, nice flat rock. Got my tarp down so I'm not getting wet. And we're gonna give the Italian style pepper steak our first taste test. A big chunk of meat. It's not bad. Not bad at all. I don't think I like it as much as the Italian sausage with fusilli pasta. That's probably my new favorite. I had that on my elk hunt. But this is solid. I would definitely get this one again. So again, guys, this is the Italian style pepper steak from Mountain House. I'm gonna start hiking back out. I ended up not coming up as far. I was originally planning to come in about 2.5 miles. We came in just under 2, like 1.8, 1.9, something like that. So it's gonna be a fairly short hike, you know, 3.6 or 3.8 round trip, somewhere in that range. But I had running water here, so I could boil water for lunch. I did pack water in if I needed to, but and then I just was hanging out watching those turkeys for a while. So we will film anything cool on the way down if we see anything, and then we'll either do the minute on the mountain on the hike out, or maybe when I get back home. But thanks so much for coming along, guys. Well, we're going to wrap up the video with the Minute on the Mountain with a channel shout out and with an announcement about the next giveaway. So let's go ahead and jump right in. The channel that I want to shout out is Bestill on the Trail. Right now he's got a series of videos about a through hike he's doing in Connecticut. I got to be honest with you guys, I never realized how many pretty parts there were in Connecticut. He's been hiking some really beautiful areas. He was kind enough to give my channel a shout out recently. So again, go check him out when you have some time. Bestill on the Trail. The Minute on the Mountain comes from 2 Kings chapter 4. I'm going to just read the information to you. This is a woman who comes to the prophet Elisha. So not Elijah, but Elisha. And she says, "My husband is dead, and you know that he revered the Lord, but now his creditor is coming to take my 2 boys as his slaves." So this woman has lost her husband. The family was in debt. Now the creditor is coming to take her 2 boys as well. Elisha says, "How can I help you? What do you have in your house?" And she said, "I don't have anything at all except a small jar of olive oil." And Elisha says, "Go around and ask all your neighbors for empty jars and don't just ask for a few." So she does that. And then as all those jars come back into her home, she begins filling them with the 1 jar of oil she has. That jar never runs out, and she fills every jar that she brings into her house, and then she sells that to pay off her debts. But the point is, when Elijah told her to go out and gather all these jars, he hadn't done anything yet. All she had was his promise. All she had was faith that something would happen if she was obedient. So imagine if she was hesitant, or imagine if her faith was small. Imagine if she was worried what her neighbors would think. Imagine if she only asked for a handful of jars, then her problem would have been resolved. So often, God calls us to step out in faith, and sometimes he calls us to step out in faith in a big way. So I don't know what you're dealing with right now in your life. I don't know if that's a situation you're in, but if things look like, man, God better show up in a big way, or I'm not sure what we're going to do, then you take a big step of faith and see what he does. So again, that's 2 Kings chapter 4, the story of Elisha and the widow woman and the oil. Let's talk a little bit about what's coming up next. So thank you to everyone who helped me get over 1,000 subscribers. I can't believe I'm over 1,000. To be honest with you, it's crazy to me. I think this is my 4th year, so we've been kind of grinding away at this thing for 4 years, and we finally hit 1,000 subs. I want to thank a couple of channels who recently were just instrumental in that because they did shout outs for my channel and really encouraged people to come over and sub. So Craig over at Georgia Trapping and Fishing, thank you so much, brother. Metro on the Move, thank you very much. You sent quite a few folks over my way. Steve over at Pax-A-Lot did a shout out recently on his trip out to Mount Rainier. Thank you very much. And again, Bestill on the Trail just recently did as well. I've also had a lot of channels share my videos out recently. So again, guys, I just want to say thank you. I sure appreciate all your support. I love it when you guys comment that you're encouraged after watching my videos. That really is what it's all about to me, that God's word would be bringing you encouragement, that it'd be bringing you challenge from time to time, because there's nothing like following him. There's nothing like pursuing him. So we're going to do a giveaway for 1,000 subscribers. Now I'm going to wait until the next video to do the prize lineup and show you everything that's on it. It's going to be a good one, I will tell you that. But you can get started now. So if you comment on this video, that will get you 1 entry into the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. And then on the next video, as I mentioned, I'll kind of line out what the prizes are. There's going to be at least 3 winners. I'm thinking 4 or 5, but at least 3 different winners for the next giveaway. So thanks again for all your support. Hope you guys are doing something fun and getting out in the mountains or out on the ocean or doing something in the outdoors this week. God bless you, and we'll see you the next time we're out on the mountain.